Hey folks, another Broken Meeple review, and we've got a couple of videos coming out from Taiwan, funny enough. First up is a titchy little game called Frenemy Pastry Party. Not the first sort of name that would drag me towards a card game, I admit. But the interesting thing with this is that it's from Miso Games, and they were at the UK Games Expo, and it was because of them I got introduced to Small Islands, which is currently sitting right behind me on a shelf down there somewhere. You know, a really cool game. Now granted, they were only distributing that one in Taiwan. The original creator of that was Mushroom Games. But this is from Miso Games directly, and it's done by Jesse Lee, who, if some of you have played a lot of sort of dry Euro games, will recognise the name from Ponzi Scheme. So I was a little bit like, I don't know, not a big fan of Ponzi Scheme, but you know, this looks like a fun little family card game, so maybe this will be something a little bit different. And in Frenemy Pastry Party, the premise is very simple. You're all a bunch of cute animals baking cakes. Okay, sounds pretty cutesy and nice, but is this going to be for kids? Not quite. Although you can play it with them, of course. The idea is that each of you takes control of an animal with a specific taste, be it mango, strawberry, lime, that kind of thing. And all of you in the group are trying to bake cakes. You're trying to get the most points at the end of the day, and cakes are worth 5 points apiece. But what you do is that you are drawing from a sort of tableau of cards, and they have different ingredients like strawberry, mango, lime. I mean, all my favourite. I love mango and I love lime, so it's like, yep, I want a mango and lime cake, please. Somebody bake me one, please. But with this one is that you're drawing these cards, and eventually one of you is going to say, right, well, I need to bake this cake, and I'm going to go bake this one here on this tableau, and it may require 2 strawberries, 3 lime, 1 mango, whatever. And the idea is that if you can do all the ingredients yourself, then great. But that takes time, it's not worth doing. In this though, you are trying to ask other players to help you. You can ask up to 2 players for various ingredients, and they can lie about what they've got, or they can offer to help by putting down the ingredients. And if you're able to make the cake, then you make it, otherwise next player's turn. Otherwise, you are basically drawing cards round and round. The idea is though, is that when you help someone else bake a cake, the ingredients that you put in go underneath your card, and not only do they count as points, but they count towards your bonus at the end, which is your animal's specific taste, like mango and strawberry. But if you bake the cake yourself, you don't get the cards, you just get the cake. So you're trying to sort of coax other players into saying, well, you know, look, you assist me with this cake, we'll get points. You'll get points as well. But as a result of me baking the cake, I'll get points for the cake. You can have points for your strawberries that you've contributed, and maybe you have an incentive of getting all the strawberries. So the idea is that it's kind of a group think game where it's semi-co-op in a sense. You're trying to win outright by yourself at the end of the day, but as a result of other players' semi-cooperation, you can actually get the cakes baked. So as you can tell, this game is very group dependent, but more on that later. First up, it's a nice little portable box, you know, it's cheap as chips, you know, this game is not going to set you back a lot of money. And of course, all the content is literally just a bunch of cards. A lot of pretty cards, I will admit. Don't worry, it's fully language independent, there is no text other than the rule books, and each ingredient is very easy to tell. I mean, a lime, a mango, I need to actually see it, a chocolate, and somewhere there's a strawberry, oh, blueberry even, you know, nice healthy berries. And that's basically what the cards are. Just a ton of ingredients, a bunch of cakes, which I swear looks so indulgent. I think I gained about 3 stone just by looking at the thing. And then of course, the cute little animals that you get, which being sort of a Taiwanese or at least, you know, Asian theme, are like the cutest of kawaii style cats, rabbits, I believe one's called a Chupacabra or something, is that what it's called? Like a ferret, a little raccoon. You know, it's very cutesy and definitely accessible for families as well. I mean, I could see you playing this with your kids without too much trouble. Now, the rules are very simple, as I say, I've explained pretty much 95% of the rules just by that little review. And of course, you know, being cutesy themed in that, it's just basically a nice little party game that can cater for between 3 and 6 players. However, much like Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park, just because you should doesn't mean, no, just because that you could doesn't mean that you should.
But your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
With 3 and 4 players, this game kind of fails hard. And that does sound pretty negative, and it kind of is, because I have played this with 3, 4, 5, and 6 players. There is no reason you should ever play this with 3 players, ever. And probably not even a reason you should play it with 4. You should play this with a minimum of 5, and ideally you probably should just write a big fat 6 on the box and call it a 6-player game. But 5 is alright. 5 and 6 players is the way you play this. The reason for that is because the game doesn't scale with player count. So the cards in the middle are just the same. And the problem you have is that, granted it may be different with your group or even with your country, but I swear, in Britain, we're just selfish players because everybody I play this with, and this is back to the whole group dependent issue, is that if people get really selfish and try to bake the cake themselves because they think, oh, well, I'm not going to let everyone else get points. You know, I don't care if they get only 1 or 2 points, I'm not letting them have it. I want the cake to myself. They will just draw card after card after card, Ticket to Ride style, hoard the cards and just try and bake the cakes themselves. Or just flat out refuse to help you when you say, look, I'm going to bake this cake, do you have mango? Nope. Well, you do have mango because I've seen you draw it. Nope, don't want to help you. And that can really get grating. But with 3 and 4 players, more people want to just simply get the ingredients and bake their cakes. And that gets very annoying. Because at that point, it's like, well, why are we even playing this group game where you're supposed to think about, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing this with, you know, I want to draw these cards and now I know he's got strawberry, I know he's got blueberry. So if I get these 2 to help, they'll probably help. And then you find out they won't anyway. Again, very, very group dependent. But in 3 and 4 players, everybody just draws cards. And also you can ask a maximum of 2 players for help. So with 3 and 4 players, 4 players, you've literally got 3 people to pick from. And in 3 players, you are asking both other players all the time. It's like you're not leaving anyone out. So you really need the 5 and 6 player count in order for people to sort of go, all right, now I've got to remember who was picking up strawberries, who was picking up mango. You know, at least that opens it up. Not to mention that because there's more players, the card count doesn't change, which means there's less cards to go around, which means there's hopefully less incentive for people to just try and hoard cards and bake cakes themselves. Of course, I play with a lot of selfish players, they kind of forget this fact. You're supposed to help other players bake cakes, but not too often so that they get all the cakes, but you can't just try and bake a cake yourself because you typically won't win unless everybody in the group does it. And then it's really just a case of who baked the most cakes. It's one of those games where this is very, very fragile. You play with the wrong player count, it will just fall flat, it will fall on its face and hit the ground hard. You play with the right player count, you still have to wait for somebody to... you still have to sort of get that perfect group. For like, oh wow, I am going to semi-cooperate with all you lot, I will help you with these ingredients. I'm there constantly offering ingredients, not even necessarily my special taste. I'm just like, look, I want points, I will help you with this cake. And people just don't want to take it. So it's kind of an odd one, this. It's got a good amount going for it. It's short. This game will last between, 15 to 30 minutes? That's pretty accurate. 30 minutes is as long as 6-player game should take, and less players, God forbid you play with less players, will take you even less time. It is a quick filler game, and granted, we need a few more of those in the industry at the moment because we always seem to overstep the filler mark. It is cutesy artwork, very colourful, language independent. Colour blindness is not a problem, it's different pictures. So all manner of gamer abilities and and experiences and ages, can happily play this game without any trouble at all. It is gateway level. 3 to 6 players, like I say, do not play with 3 and 4, play with 5 and 6. But the thing that stops me really liking this game is, like I said, that problem with it being fragile. When the game works, it works fine. It's a nice little filler game. It doesn't blow my mind, but the idea that you're trying to remember who's got what ingredients and you're trying to, there's a bit of a bluffing aspect to no, I didn't draw all the mango, no, you missed wrong, or more the kind of, not necessarily the liar thing, but that cooperation. I think, do I want to help you? Do I want to help you? And you got to be careful not to ask somebody for too many ingredients, because you just say, have you got any strawberries? Well, if they've got 3 for your cake that requires 3 strawberries, then bang, they put down 3 strawberries, and it's like, oh, I didn't want you to help that much. So you got to be a little bit careful. There's a bit of a memory aspect to it. But yeah, all in all, it's a simple filler card game. I think that in a game cafe it works perfect, and I think for families it's going to work perfect as well. I'm not certain I can see this being a gamer like a veteran gamer level game. This is definitely going to be like an entry level thing, more for families, more for newer gamers, that kind of thing. But again, my biggest problem is just that it does not scale very well, and the fragility, is that a word, of the nature of the game based on who are playing is also going to affect your experience. Because if people play selfishly, it doesn't matter who wins and loses, the game won't be enjoyable. But if people really get into that whole sort of semi-cooperative team aspect, then it starts to shine. So all in all, it's fine. It's hard to rate something that is that fragile, but for me, it gets an average 6. I like it, well, above average 6. You know, it looks good. It's easily accessible. It's, you know, short. It's just got that major player scaling problem and the fragile group thing, and I can't rate it any higher because that is a legitimate problem. But for a filler game that is cheap as chips, you get the right group of 6 people, and you should probably give this one a try, because I saw a lot of people having fun with this at the expo, and I've watched other groups play with this and find that they're constantly offering ingredients for other cakes, and when that happens, perfect, you've got a hit on your hands. But for me, it's just not working with the people I play with. It's a bit of a shame because I would have liked to have slotted this in somewhere in the collection. But for me, I'm probably going to donate this to my local game cafe, and hopefully more people will get to enjoy it. So that's Frenemy Pastry Party from Miso Games by Jesse Lee. So that's it for me. I'll see you on the next review when I will be looking at Raid on Takao, also from Taiwan. So take care, and I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple video. Remember to click subscribe if you like the content, and remember, whether you slipped me a dodgy mango or not in my cake, it's still only a game. Take care, and I'll see you next time.